Cool. Hi, everyone. We're the ANU team, and today we'll be tackling Challenge 2. So today we'll be tackling two main problems that we identified. Number one is that the general public has a low awareness of potential risky pests, as they face no direct perceived harm in the face of a biosecurity risk realizing. Low awareness of such potential risks has resulted in a lack of reporting, late reporting, and ineffective reporting. The second problem is that existing government apps are not effective at attracting potential users, retaining active engagement, and building a sense of community between pest reporters. One reason may be due to a fragmentation of different types of biosecurity risk reportings across different apps, causing choice overload and causing people to choose the default, which in this case could be not reporting at all. Another reason is that the design of current apps is non-interactive and is limited to a reporting tool on a limited number of selected pests. There is a lack of any commitment device to mitigate the mental self-control cost of using the app in the face of other competing priorities. So I'll give you guys a quick overview of our solution before my team goes into it. We will suggest potential improvements to current government biosecurity reporting apps, such as WeedScan, to increase user participation. These include increased interaction, educational learning opportunities, and a badge reward recognition system. Our solution provides a human element to the pest identification process to complement AI algorithms where they are falling short.
All right, so the first thing we want to look at is just the numbers game. In order for this to work, we need to make sure that we have a relatively large user base and we have a relatively active user base. So one simple thing we could do to make this more attractive to people is to introduce a social aspect. So for instance, what we're recommending here is that we're going to have a simple interface with a map where you can see what people around you in your community have been reporting. And this is just one small step that we can take towards implementing some social norms, especially in the groups of people who are already concerned about biosecurity. Now, we know that if we have social norms, that can act as a very strong nudge towards a positive behavior. Let's get the next slide, please. All right, so the next thing is that currently you're only really incentivized to actively participate if you actually find one of these pests that you might want to report. Now, why is this an issue? Simply because a lot of users who might be interested might not actually run into these exotic pests on a regular basis. So there's two things that we still want out of these users. The first is that we still want them to form habits of reporting and looking out for pests so that when they do see something important, they are going to report it. And the next is that we want to make sure that they still feel involved and can benefit from the sense of community that we're trying to establish. So our solution is that we're going to propose that we still encourage users to report cases, for example, cases where they were unsure if it was a pest or not, cases where initially they thought it was a pest, but then they decided it might not be, along with their opinion that it is in fact a negative case. So what this is doing is it's making the pest that they're looking for more salient, it's getting them to form habits of being on the lookout, and it's allowing them to still benefit from the social engagement that we want to build into these apps.
All right. So, hello. Okay. So the second thing we want to integrate into the app is a educating factor. So why do we want to do this? So one of the problem is because due to the lack of knowledge of relevant pests, it results in late or no reports of it, and it will dramatically increase the difficulty in containing it because it is not contained in the early stages. So one solution is illustrated in this picture here. So through the example here, you can show that users are given a learning module of a fire ant, and after completing the learning module with a sufficient score, they also will be asked to give a educated guess on reports made by other users. So this can give both theoretical and also practical training in actually detecting a pest. So what's the behavior inside here? Well, in the theory of planned behavior, perceived cost is one of the deterministic factors in motivation of one taking a particular action. So, by true education, we increase the user's perceived ability and actual ability to detect a pest, and that can also encourage prompt reporting. So, next slide, please. All right, so the second problem we face is users of current government apps have negative feedbacks from the AI itself, because the AI itself have a very narrow range of pests they can actually detect, and this discourages people to actually report a pest when they found one. So through education, having educated users, we can also tell users to help others in determine if a pest is actually harmful. So for instance, if you're not too sure if you encounter a harmful pest, upload it through the app, and other people can look at it and determine if it's harmful or not. So what's the behavior insight? Well, in the nudge book, it says that if you want to encourage a certain behavior, decrease the friction and sludge. And so here it means that making it easy for people to upload stuff, because when they're not sure, they don't have to make the judgment call themselves, but they can also ask other people to help them make the judgment call. So I'll pass the time to Kai now.
All right, so for my section, I want to talk about recognizing users' behavior. The problem we're facing here is due to the nature of biosecurity reporting, there's kind of lack of an immediate response or immediate outcome of your immediate report. So that might serve as disincentives for the users. Our solution here is to implementing a reward system like a badge, and people could earn those badges by actively reporting or does really well in the educational games. And they can also earn a streak badge by actively participating in those activities on a regular basis, like what Duolingo have done. So what is the behavioral insight in this scenario is when people having a streak and they will be unwilling to lose it due to the loss aversions. There was also a random control trial done by Gallus in 2017 to study the users of Wikipedia and how their behaviors are impacted when you give them badge incentives. And Gallus have suggested that when people receive a badge, they would consider themselves recognized in these communities, and this shift them from opinion on doing good for myself to doing good for us. And the sense of community would shape your behavior somehow. So this is all our proposal, and I'm gonna make some comments. Our proposal satisfies the ease framework. So it's easy for people to use the app. You do not need any prior education or prior training. You do not need to be an expert before you do that, because we have the education sector to do that. It's attractive because it's largely gamified. It is also heavily interactive. It is social. That is what we have trying to do for the entire time. It is also timely because we give you a streak reward. We also can give you like an alert to remind you to use this app on a regular basis. So the timeliness is also very important in the biological security reportings. We are aware of the limitations. So we are trying to make a marginal improvement on a current app, and we're not trying to reach out to all Australians somehow. And at the same time, it has a larger fixed cost, and we can't really test that out in a smaller scale. However, this also means we have a really low marginal cost, implies our project is very largely scalable. So together, biosecurity is a very complicated issue. We're fully aware of that. And our project is trying to integrating people together, trying to build a sense of community, and letting people work together as a whole. We're trying to shift your problem and my problem into our problem. And this is a community, we're trying to build it up, shape the culture, and make our performance better. My name is Kai, this is the AU team, and we're presenting you on topic 1. Thank you so much for your attention, and looking forward to your insight.